God, and so on. Well, to find your way on the path to God, at least according to Buddhism, to stay on the path, you have to remember you are impermanent, and everything's impermanent. Everything's going to disappear or die, perhaps sooner than later, and you don't have a self. You may think you're separate from everyone and everything, but that is merely an illusion. So, by pondering those concepts, you set yourself off in the right direction towards enlightenment instead of always following the latest trend. But anyway, what else is there to go on? Well, and even if the latest trend is enlightenment, do they really focus on that and do it right? That is, the impermanence and non-self thing? Well, you be the judge. Anyway, so there are other words too, such as death. Well, death is an important thing. How do you see death? Is death eternal? That is, do you die and disappear and become nothingness forever? Eternal death? Or do you die and your soul lives on, somehow to pass on to a different form through reincarnation, or by going to heaven, or by even other activities? Can your soul pass on? And if it does pass on, does it pass on forever? Well, then it is eternal life. So, and then death is an illusion. That's what I believe. I believe in the illusion of death. Death is an illusion because we pass on to eternal life. Sure, there is a life beyond ours. Our individual life will come to another life with God in heaven, or perhaps coming back in the form of a human in terms of reincarnation, or perhaps other things. I believe things go on and on and on. And that's just the way it is. And we'll find out more about it after we die, I guess. So, there are other words too. And sometimes words work for you or against you. Don't let words be your trap. Don't let words trap you. Don't let concepts trap you. You have to be able to break free of them and not be restricted or contained by them. For you are something different. You are always beyond what you are, no matter how clearly and distinctly you are classified. For instance, if you're the President of the United States, you're someone beyond that, someone apart from that as well, someone totally removed from that. Perhaps Obama as a family man. Well, if you're a construction worker, well, you're often removed from that too, perhaps on vacation time. You're not always who you think you are, who you classify yourself as, whether positive or negative in the classifications. Always remember you are beyond that. For you are many things, for you are complicated and changing. So don't let words trap you or bind you. But there's other words, such as Casey Waters. That's right. Where did Casey Waters come from anyway? Well, I guess I haven't talked about that one in a long time. So let's dive into it. Since we're talking about words, KC. What's the KC? Well, the KC stands actually for King College. King College is a place in my dreams. Gee, I haven't dreamt about it in many years, I have to admit, perhaps 10 years or more. But it was a more common dream in my late 20s and 30s. It was and so it continues to inspire me. Well, just like my original dream continues to inspire me. Do you remember your original dream? That is, the earliest dream you could possibly remember. I do. Now that I'm 48, I could jump back to age 4 or 5 and recall my earliest dream, which wasn't a dream at all, but was a nightmare in which I was cut into tiny pieces, about 1 inch cubed. My whole body was diced and sliced and cubed, and as I was still alive and aware of it, the dicing and slicing didn't hurt somehow. And somehow I ended up as a bunch of cubes, but cubes with perception. And I was thrown into a pot of boiling water and made into soup, once again without pain or feeling. It was a little upsetting, but not tremendously so. A nightmare, but not an extreme one. My first dream when I was 4 or 5 years old. But let's spring forward to the origin of Casey Waters in King College. Well, what was that like? Well, I dreamt about that several times. I call these dreams series dreams. When you dream about something several times over many weeks, but the dreams are still similar to one another, or if you dream about something many times in one night. So whether you dream about it many times in one night or several times spread out over several weeks or more, as long as the dreams are very similar and seem to repeat themselves, I call these series dreams. Well, Casey Waters, King College, was a series dream. Okay, so King College. It's a small college, only about 100 students or less. It's probably in Europe. There's fields surrounding it. It's in a small town, a lot of stone buildings. On one end of the college is a large farm, complete with a large farmhouse. In the farmhouse, there lives about 10 of the students who go to the college. And there's a tall lady who takes care of them. She's the caretaker of the farmhouse. Then there's a dorm on the main part of campus, in the center of town, perhaps just under a mile away from the farm, in a stone building. Here, there's probably lives 50 or even more students. Remember, there's only about 100 in all. And of course, some students probably commute locally and don't live on campus. The college specializes in alternative medicine and practices in medicine that have been rejected because, well, they perhaps were suppressed by a pharmaceutical company, even though they might have been effective. Some of these treatments are coming back, or similar forms of them.
Casey Waters Show. Producer, Casey Waters. Graphic editing, Judson Laird. Please note our new email address, caseywaters2@caseywaters.com.